welcome to the Real Estate Mogul MD podcast. So thanks for tuning in and taking control of your financial future. This is a show where we not only motivate and inspire, we give you actionable real-world experience to help you live life by design. You'll hear journeys and stories from other physicians, investors, coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs. And now, here's your host, Brett Riggins. Hey, everybody. Here we are again, another episode, Real Estate Mogul MD. And today is a kind of off-the-cuff conversation that I have with a friend of mine. It's been, we've kind of bumped shoulders through the years, and this is our first time meeting. And we are on two opposite sides of the world. Funny enough, he's all the way from the beautiful land of Hawaii today, where we're 6 hours time difference over here on the East Coast of the Carolinas. Indar Lange, how you doing today, man?
Aloha. Hi. Thank you for having me. It's super excited to just talk story. And we were just talking a little bit there from stuff going on behind the scenes. And I love always sharing and giving back. And there's abundance. There's enough deals. There's enough for everyone to succeed in this. And I love talking about this business.
Yeah, that abundance piece is huge. And I don't know if I was talking on one of the episodes or prior to a taping or something, somebody hit me with you're a competition thing. Like we're competitors. Yeah. And I'm like, man, well, that just kind of like ends our conversation right there, because that's what do you mean? I don't understand. But
you're competitors when you're brand new and you don't know what you're doing. But once you start making money, you realize there's enough for everyone to succeed. I think all successful people I meet in this business all have that abundance mindset of like, here you go. Here's everything. Here's how you do it. You go for it. You do it. It's not easy, obviously.
Yeah. And we were talking about like in that abundance, like there's so many different ways of it working, not only in real estate, but investing as well too. So the both of us being an investor have different platforms and different avenues and different relationships. So we had talked just a little bit about kind of how our paths crossed way back when. And we were both part of this group called Fortune Builders. And this thing, it was a turning point in my life. Indar, I don't know, we can kind of talk about what it was like
me
for you.
Me too.
And it was the first time we ever invested in ourselves. And I think it was like 50 grand or something like that. I loved how I don't know the number, right? But I know that we made that money back right away and we started building relationships. The biggest piece for us was this mindset shift that these guys, and this is Than Merrill, Paula Sajan, JD Sajan, these guys really were fixing and flipping early on and created these process and procedures to create this education platform, as well as this mastermind platform. And you, Indar, I think at 2015, I think you said that you had joined. We were around 2017. Yeah. And man, you just took off from there. So tell us just a little bit about how your investment journey started.
Well, I'm born and raised in beautiful Hawaii, and I'm very blessed to grow up here. I got a degree in electrical engineering, got a business degree, tried that. That topped out in life. I topped out at maybe $200,000-300,000 in life, and it wasn't enough. Started working for my dad's construction company, helped run his construction company. And in about 2013, I knew real estate had to be the avenue of my life. I knew real estate would take me to the next level in life. Didn't know where or how or who. I just knew real estate had to be a part of my life, per se. Went in, bought our first little condo. It was tiny, just 500 square foot, for me and my wife, girlfriend at the time. And at that same time, now I just bought my first place. Now I'm getting my brain rolling, flipping houses and all this. And lo and behold, my wife drugged me to one of those seminars. I think
free one?
They're very great.
The free one.
And then 200 and 2 day. I forget the whole process. They're very great.
Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate of education. I got an engineering degree. I got a business degree, and all those years of schooling. I love education. Still to this day, I love education. And I think that's what was a big turning point for me too, as well. The Fortune Builders, not necessarily like real estate is very easy to understand. It's just, I think they put it step by step in front of me. Like, do this first, do that first. It wasn't like, like a groundbreaking knowledge. It's very simple knowledge. It's just putting it all into perspective, into the alignment of how to start and how to do it all. And they were huge at the time, and they were signing up a ton of people.
Yeah.
And, I paid a lot of money, and I'm very grateful I did, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And, we did, we bought that first house. We lived in it for a couple of years, sold it, made 90 grand, paid no taxes after 2 years.
Wow.
Right then and there, we also did a wholesale to kind of recoup some of that money we paid to Fortune Builders. Yeah. We did a dinky little wholesale. I found on Craigslist, sold on Craigslist, made like 10 grand. Nice. And then I got my first flip in 2015. We got our first flip. It was a 700,000 purchase, sold it for $1 million. Next year, I think I did 2, 3 the following year, 4, 5 the following year, and 6. Like, it was just so slowly scaled. Like, I'm not an overnight sensation by far.
Yeah.
It's been about 10 years now, I guess. And we've done 120 fix and flips, about 130 million. I do some very high end, expensive flips, $3, $4 million type homes. I have a rehab budget right now. We just submitted for $1 million. So we do some very high end flips, as well as low end. I love low end, and I love flipping. We have about 18 flips going right now, and another 6 in the US going. And then we wholesaled nationwide last year, like you did, and I turned that off. It didn't. Yeah. It was just too much of a machine. Wholesaling it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of people to manage and to oversee. And as our market shifted, 6 months, 8 months ago, I recognized, and I was like, I'm turning that machine up. Yes. We're spending 20 grand a month in marketing. I'm like, I want to slim down right now. And so I'm glad we did. And we brought our focus back into Hawaii, where that's my primary bread and butter. We also have a property management company, have a construction company. We have hard money. I partner with somebody with a hard money company. We do hard money loans. And we have 160 rentals ourselves, and closing tomorrow, on a shopping center for $6 million. I'm super excited about, and a ton of Airbnbs. And I love every avenue of real estate. I love it all. I love all the different avenues. And I wish I got more rentals early on. I was just flipping, but now I'm more into the buying rentals, getting multi, that side of the business, just for the tax write-offs and some incentives of it all. And I love all of it. And we're great at what we do. We're the largest flippers here in Hawaii, and we have great returns for our investors, and we grow our investors as we grow with them. And we got a multifamily flip. We just in escrow right now for 3.1 mil, and that's the $1 million rehab, and we'll sell that at 7 mil and bring a ton of investors into it, and make it a fun deal. And
very cool. Very cool. That is massive, man. That is monster resume. And early on, I think one of the first times that I saw you was actually on stage at one of these Fortune Builder events. And kind of like early on in the career, I guess that story leading into it, and your father having the construction company kind of like is a good platform to have when you are flipping, to have that resource. Because when I tell everybody, like, relationships are a huge piece, and to have that relationship and that asset or that resource is a huge help, right? In being able to do these flips.
Yeah, of course. I've never been, construction never scared me. A little thing I did early on was I would do some of the hardest flips. When you're buying a flip, you're buying a problem. You're buying somebody doesn't want to do it, so you're buying somebody's problem. And early on, I did some really, really hard flips, like jacking up houses with car jacks and changing 14 support beams, and shimmying a house. It's ready to fall down, and just salvaging these houses that not even a normal person wanted to do. And I just took on the really, really hard projects, and just made every project after that feel simple. If you see this multifamily deal I'm buying right now, everyone's scared of this thing. I'm like, to me, I'm like, I've done like 20 of these things. So,
Yeah.
when you do something hard, it's just like,
Yeah.
it makes it easy later on. So
Very
that's what
interesting.
I would suggest. Yeah.
So that multi is in Hawaii too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a 6 unit and an 8 unit. It's 2 buildings, and we're gonna fix it up and then rent it out. And then once we rent it out, we can sell it.
Interesting.
So it's a longer project. It'll take a couple of years, but
Yeah. Yeah. So 160 units, Indar, what asset classes does that stretch, and what areas does that stretch?
We're in Connecticut. We have majority of ours is in Connecticut. We have 114 doors in Connecticut. Pennsylvania, I have a multifamily. Connecticut, we have a multifamily as well, combined into there. Connecticut's mostly 3-4 unit type of stuff. Low income. I love low income. We're also flips we're getting rid of in New York, Chicago. The Texas just sold. Illinois just selling. We're buying the shopping center in Wisconsin, Janesville, Wisconsin. We're buying that shopping center right now. And here in Hawaii, I have 9 Airbnbs, a bunch of single family, low income. I like low income as well, stuff. And then we also have a co-working space that we're building out. Two penthouse offices. We're building out a huge co-working space. I really am excited about that, to just create our own culture, create our own environment for other flippers, real estate agents, escrow, just to come be a part of, and we'll have events and create a culture, and excited about that environment for people to be a part of, and
Where's that?
like-minded people.
Where's that building located at?
It's close to Waikiki, so it's right in the middle of Honolulu, like right in the middle of everything. I'm going to do some fun things. Like I really want to give back to kids, so I plan to do some events for kids to teach them financial literacy, how to read a profit and loss statement, how to open a company, how to understand a balance sheet statement, or even credit cards, and some of the basic stuff I think kids are missing in school. Even of course real estate, stuff as well. So I really want to share to kids and just kind of give them some basics that I think they should know.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of planting that seed early. Why Connecticut for the holds, the buy and holds?
It was just a great portfolio that I get. I get stuff all around the nation now, and sometimes I don't want the deal, so I'll throw kind of a stupid offer that I don't want the deal. Yeah. And it was a combination of that, and then I look into the deal, and it was just an amazing deal, amazing cash flow. They're almost like they could be flips in a sense too. It's a big burr. I burr everything. So if things can cash flow and burr and the market is strong, I'll look at it and I'll figure it out. Overseas, I call it, for me, doesn't scare me as much anymore.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable being, even here. I like when I go to a flip here in Hawaii, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, what the hell am I doing here at this house? Like, so I don't have to be at any projects. It's all numbers. It's all building relationships. It's all setting the right structures up and systems up to succeed, so.
When you go to a new area in the States, I mean, what's the best way that you found to build a relationship with a good contractor?
That's a tough one. So if we're going to do a flip in a different state, our number one person actually is an agent. So we cold call, or we vet out a ton of agents and make sure that agent knows contractors, most agents know a lot of people, and they will make sure they've either done a flip or they've done a rehab. They're familiar with the game itself. So they're an important part of the tool, to make sure, because they can help manage it. We'll pay them a management fee, or we'll pay them well to help take care of it if we are doing them. We're not willingly doing flips now in the mainland, which is actually exiting a bunch we had from last year. It just last year the market was hot, so these are some of the leftovers basically that we've had. If I do buy rentals, normally I want to find a state like yours that I want to do a lot in. Like, I don't want to just find a state and buy one rental in one house, because like you wouldn't want to build a team for one house, right? So once you define a market, then you want to do a lot in that market,
right? Interesting. So hitting that agent that has established relationships with contractors and vetting them out,
Yeah.
that being the
Hmm.
first point of contact, makes sense for sure.
Hmm.
Now, when you
Yeah.
say like states like mine, we talked about in the Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina. So there's a little difference in these states here. Um, in your acquisition strategy, which
Hmm.
I think you learned the same way that I learned through the Fortune Builders on what's called this outside in approach, right? And what would drive you to pick one state over the next, or does that even play for you?
Well, first off, I'll make sure the deal's a deal and the numbers work. We're
Mhm.
heavily in the BRRRR process, so I'll make sure the 1% rule works in anything I do, from 100 units to a single family. So that 1% rule is like my quick, like dirty rule of thumb. And then I want to be buying all in at 70% below its ARV, below its market value, commercial, residential, whatever it may be. I want to be all in at 70% so I can refi and take all my money out. And then I'll start diving into the markets, the area, look at rent growth, look at, we have a minimum of 35,000 for the city we're in. You have to have population. We don't want to be rural. I don't like to be in rural cities too much. I passed on some good deals that were in rural cities. You kind of want to
Yeah, those
see
are
the
hard to
growth of
pass too
that.
sometimes, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
But it's like
nobody here.
middle, no. Yeah. Because building a team in a city
Yeah.
like that is very hard,
Yeah.
to do, or even just to sell properties if you have to sell.
What
You don't
about
want to be.
so the deal penciling out and underwriting, but what about the actual municipalities and the landlord friendly versus tenant friendly scenarios with eviction timelines and stuff
Yeah.
like that? How much of that plays into your decisions?
I do think about, red states or blue states really is what it
Yeah.
comes down to. Democratic states are very hard to evictions.
Mhm.
And then, Republican states. So I weigh that out. What type of portfolio, if I'm going to do stuff there, I don't like Democratic states.
Mhm.
I live in Hawaii, where Democratic state, and evictions are very hard here. And then I deal with them here. I actually do a lot of them.
Mhm.
When I buy some flips. But yeah, that's a huge factor. I don't really want to. I'll make sure I'll ask the property manager, I'll ask, hey, how long does an eviction take?
Mhm.
What's the court systems look like? Are they backed up right now? How hard is it to do an eviction? So I want to know that, of course, when
Yeah.
I jump into a state.
And you mentioned the 1% rule, and just to clarify, in my mind, that's like a gross monthly rent divided by the all-in cost, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, you want to be 70% of the ARV. So
Mm-hmm.
those
I want
two
to.
things.
If I would buy it's a $200,000 house, I want to be getting at least, 200,000. That's with rehab and purchase. So
Yeah.
I want to be rehab too. People don't factor in. So I want to at least get $2,000 a month there, and then I want that house to be 70%. I want to be.
Up, so the ARV would be, without doing the math, closer to 300 or something, right?
Yeah, closer to 300.
Yeah. I see. Very interesting.
Yeah, because I want to take out all my money possibly I can, our investors' money, and I want to roll that money to do more, basically, as quickly as I possibly can.
Right. So that's focusing in on basically no cash left in the deal.
Yeah, no cash, nothing. Yeah. Or even take out, get a loan.
Yep.
Pennsylvania, we are able to take out an extra $100,000, because to me, the velocity of money is more important than anything else. I preach on velocity of money. Like, for example, we have the 114 doors in Connecticut, and it's about 8 million. We're refinancing it right now, and we're going into higher interest rate. We're going from a 6% to an 8% rate. You'd be like, why would you want to do that? But we just spent about a year stabilizing this whole all these assets. And now we're going to be able to take out about $1 million. We're going to take out investor money, my own money. And now we can redeploy $1 million and make that money work for us. And I will then later on in the 2 years or so, we'll do a rate and term refinance and I'll put it into a cheaper loan at that time whenever the rates come back around to 4 or 5%. So I rather redeploy the money and get money back out quicker. Yeah. And of course, I got to make sure it cash flows rentals and so forth. But
yeah, absolutely. And how do you feel right now about the way that the market is with cost of money? I mean, I know it's a hot topic, a hot conversation, and I deal a lot with it too. I'm sure you do too. So tell me a little bit about how you're feeling right now with the money market.
I mean, the money's going to get hard. It's going to be hard to get. I just did a commercial loan and the commercial is even harder. They're very hard. They changed terms very end of the deal. So money's going to get hard to get. I think if you got a good track record, you've been doing this for a while, I think those type of people will succeed. One, they'll be able to get loans because they have a good track record. And, the banks will want to rather talk to an A player than a brand new player. I recognize actually that early on in COVID, when COVID first started, the banks were, fully shutting down. They wouldn't give any loans. And I had
dropped their LTVs to like 30 or 40% or something crazy.
Yeah. And I was able to get some hard money loans when you had to be an A-class investor, they called it. And I was able to get some hard money loans for some deals. And I recognize that no other flipper could get loans at the time. So I was like, I'm going to buy everything I possibly could. And then I turned around and just made a killing on those flips because there was nothing for sale in the market,
Right.
So,
right.
I kind of feel like that could be the case here. If you can, my buddy says, survive until 25. Our market's not going to get any better right now. I think we're flatline. We're going to probably stay here for the rest of the year, if not go up a little bit more in points. So I think if you can survive for now until, those years later, or be though, especially when the bank's tightening up and they won't lend out. If you're the only one, able to do things, I think I see, growth there. And in the multifamily world, it'll be a great time. And if you have assets now and you're selling, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I think it'll be a great time, if these assets can hang on until then. So it is tough times, of course, now, but it's, you can always find a deal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you had this to do over again, Indar, would you start with single families the same way that you did?
I would start with holding more. If flips penciled out as good holds, I would hold them more if I could. Just because I was so into like making money now and taking a flip now. We make like $100,000 from a flip. I want that 100 now instead of, I was like, this only rents and we make $500 a month. I would still keep the $500 a month rental because, I do things like cost segregation and some huge tax savings. Or in the long run, selling flips that you hold for 2 to 3 years, you can make a lot more, holding it for 2 to 3 years or longer sometimes.
Yeah. Very interesting. Now, how about Airbnb in Hawaii? It's absolutely beautiful. And I've not been there yet, Indar. I cannot wait to go. Tell me a little bit about and it's just got to be, I guess, the house to area, but what in Hawaii, what's your ratio of long-term holds versus short-term holds in Hawaii?
Airbnbs are tough. They're cracking down here in Hawaii. They're trying to make it illegal. It's the hotel industry. They have a monopoly on the political market and they're trying to wipe them out totally. So they just got rid of a bunch in our neighborhoods and our communities. So basically only in Waikiki and a few other spots, you can have these illegal Airbnbs. Obviously they cash flow so much better than a single family type of rental. And it's sometimes the only way to make a deal work, to make it cash flow. And so we have them. Actually, I share them a lot with my investors who come over. I'm like, here, come stay at Airbnb, or friends.
Yeah.
My accountant's flying in. I'm like, here, go stay at Airbnb. We also have like a Turo car that we attach to our Airbnb, so a guest can use our minivan as well.
Oh, nice.
And our Airbnbs are pretty self-run. I have a great team, and we maximize them. So they're pretty nice. They are very hands-on compared to a single-family house, but the cash flow is a lot greater. But it's just about building a team behind it. You know, we have a virtual assistant that helps as well. And cash flow is so much better. So we have Airbnbs, and we also do midterm rentals. Midterm rentals are a new
what's that
topic, I guess.
Yeah, what's that?
So when an Airbnb is not legal, there's spots in our island that you can't do less than 30 days. You know, if you furnish the place and you rent it for 30 days or more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you can rent it to nurses. We have a construction crew at one house right now, and they're willing to pay more when it's fully furnished and livable, so they can come in and they can work, for the 3 months and leave. So we have a lot of those that's doing well.
Midterm, you call them?
Yeah, midterm rentals.
Midterm. So I actually have 4 of those. I didn't know there was a term for it. Yeah.
What do you call them?
4 or 5. Yeah, no, right. It's short term, but they won't let me short term, right?
They call it midterm. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 5 of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
They're great. I think they're great because you just spend a little bit more furnishing, and you can really get more rents from them. Yeah. And we use furnish finders and.
Yeah. One of them frustrates me because it is in a commercially zoned area, but they still won't let me do short term. Like I have to have a hotel flag, a hotel license to do short term. And I was like, that's so crazy. But it doesn't pay to fight or work against these things. It's like find the way that works and work with it. Yeah.
To just the workaround. And I think that's what we do in this business. We always figure it out, figure out what others can't, on a flip or a rental, figure out how to make this rental work, split it up into 4 units or, rent it the upstairs, downstairs. Like we're always just figuring it out,
Right. Very cool. So, in the islands there, you've got, obviously on multiple islands, you've got assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, how does that work? How often do you go to the different islands,
I go for pleasure to the different islands to take my family to go camping. I generally don't go to see
for work.
I go to the jobs just to make some videos.
Yeah.
If I'm ever at a job site or a rental, it's just to make some content for you guys.
Right. Right.
I mean, I don't need to be there. What am I going to do there?
Right.
At this point, I always feel like if I'm not here in the office, I'm not being most productive of my time. I don't need to be going to Home Depot and picking up something, or I don't need to be setting up the Airbnb. Actually do sometimes still. But I always try to be productive with what I do, so I have somebody I should be paying to do that,
Right.
Instead of me doing that.
What's been your biggest challenge in investing in real estate?
Well, when I first started, scaling was hard. No one scaled in Hawaii. How do you scale in $1 million area? Like, how do you do? Everyone said you can't. Like, how do you scale this? We're holding about 30 million in fix and flips right now. So, like, how did we do that? How did you scale that? And to me, like, somebody was going to do it, and somebody was just going to figure it out. And that's always been my mindset, just to figure it out and to grow and to just keep pushing the limits, to figure it out. Somebody's going to figure out this deal. Somebody's going to make. I had a mentor earlier on. He told me this. We were doing our second or third flip, something like that, and we're going to make 60 grand. Potentially, we're going to make 60 grand. It was a really hard flip. Everyone's telling me not to do it. Your house is going to fall down. Should be torn down. And I have a millionaire friend of mine. He's like, either you don't do it, you make 0, or you make 60 grand. I'll pay you 60 grand right now to figure it out. I'm like, shit, I would do it for 60 grand. I'll figure that thing out. And so that's always been my mindset. Like,
Yeah.
man, if I'm going to make 100 grand, I'll figure this damn thing out. Like,
Yeah.
that's always my mindset. I look at my profits is my risk factor. Really.
Mm-hmm.
My profit is my comfort level on any deal I do.
Yeah. Very cool. And the same way, and as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about some of the houses that we did that should have been torn down, and I get into it, and like the whole back half of the house is gone. I'm reframing rafters and reframing the floor, and and it's like, holy cow! But even at those, even getting into that, if the acquisition is right, you're going to do what you need to do, right, to get the job done.
Exactly.
In that particular one here, scale is a little bit different, but 50 to 60K on that one was really good. And then when you talk about your numbers in Hawaii, like a 700 purchase prices, in some of these areas we're in, we're all fixed up and maybe out the door sold at 200 or 300,000,
Yeah.
So the profit's going to be proportionate to that. But man, so much. I think that we could continue talking for hours and hours on this stuff. I really appreciate your time. Who's somebody that, I guess last question would be, who's somebody that that you feel our listeners should know? And that, the listeners may be just thinking about real estate, maybe have some syndication experience, maybe have some rentals themselves. Who's someone that you would suggest that they should know?
Well, I'm good friends with Brandon Turner, of course. Bigger Pockets. I've been big on Bigger Pockets. Well, he's Better Life Tribe now. So Brandon is a great influence on me from the start, as well as just a circle of friends to get around you that are, I would say that was the biggest influences. I'm in a private group now of friends, and we share our struggles, we share our strengths, and just to put yourself in a group like that where you can help each other. Of course, there's a ton of information out there on YouTube and kind of Facebook and Instagram. But just to get out there. And the hardest thing I think in this business, a lot of people are scared of, is action. The action part of it all is definitely
I've been thinking about real estate. You know how many times I hear that? I've been thinking about it. And hey, the both of us did that too. We thought about it. And the hardest part, taking action, man. That's it. Taking action.
It's the hardest. And even to this day, like, as I want to do bigger stuff, like, do I have the time to take that action that I need to take? A lot of people are working normal jobs. Do I have the time? Can I make the energy? Can I make that effort to go do that? We're stuck in our routine of life. We go to work, we pick up the kids, and we have that routine of life. How do you fit something new into that routine of life? How do you make that change? These are big key words: mindset, change, action. Yeah. We all hear it all day long, but can you do it? And I'm guilty myself. I want to do bigger stuff right now. And I'm so stuck in, what I'm doing. It's hard to grow and change.
That stands out to me, Indar, is when you were talking about giving back and bringing something back to the children and this workspace that I hear you talk about. Like, for me, those are the things. So I hope that in this conversation, that is the mindset and the change in the action that you're tossing around in your head, because that's, at this point, when you give back, it's like, was it Zig Ziglar says, when you start helping, you stop selling and start helping, things change. And in that world of, in the gurus and Instagram, and everybody knows this and you do this, and like everybody knows the best thing, and everything is, I say this so much, sunshine and rainbows when you see it from the other side of the lens. Not. Right.
It's not.
But when you get to that point where you have that group of people like you're talking about, and you're able to elevate yourself and, just take things to the next level. So, best wishes to you, Indar, and your family. And man,
thank you so much.
It's an awesome journey. It's so cool to hear it, from start to where you're at.
Yeah. Especially the Fortune Builder group. There's so many people that sign up, and I feel I want everyone to succeed as you have, and so forth. And I really want, everyone to make it in life. There's enough for all of us to succeed. Yeah. I have some ninja tips I should like to share always at the end. A couple ninja tips real quick. For Fortune builders always said ninja tips.
Yeah.
Whenever you're selling a property, to pay for your own inspection first beforehand and give that to your contractor as your final punch list, especially on $1 million or bigger properties, higher end properties, because that savvy guy is going to always look for things to ask for credits, look for problems. And I'm not climbing in an attic. I'm not pulling out the heat gun. So pay it $200-$400 for that inspection, that 80-page report. Here you go, contractor. Here's your final punch list, especially on higher end projects. Whenever we're selling a project, I'll do a credit of $50 or $100, depending, to that buyer to close faster. So I'll give a $50-$100 a day credit for them to close faster, because I have a holding cost, and that holding cost cost me $200-$300 a day. Right. So by him closing faster, I'm actually saving money. And even though he's making money on it, so you kind of do your math and figure it out. Great way to close and get rid of the property faster, even if it's a few days. Time is money, the velocity of money is
you
important.
Write that like as an addendum after the offer is accepted, kind of like throw that in.
Yeah. I throw it as a verbal most of the time with the agents. And of course we don't do it on the contract itself.
Yeah.
But it just gives them incentive, because most of them want to close soon. They want to move into the house, and they're excited to buy the house. So they'll push it, even if it's a week, it's important.
Yeah.
The little things like that I like. And there's a little more tips and tricks. Be a professional money finder. Always talk about what you do, talk about your projects, let people know. You never know where a project deal investor may come from. 0 offers equals 0 deals. So put in 21 offers equals a deal for us. So if you're doing the due diligence, you do the work, just submit that offer and move on. A lot of times you spend all that energy and time, just submit the offer and move on.
Don't worry about hurting somebody's feelings with your offer. You do the math, you don't do the emotion, right? It is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it is. And, submit and forget it. But I can go on. There's so much more. Networking and network is huge. Your time is money. Don't be, guilty of it. I used to go to Home Depot 5 times a day trying to pick up screws to keep my contractor busy and keep him moving, thinking I'm saving money, right? Or I love doing yards. I would jump in and help out with the yard. I'm paying my guy, $15-$20 an hour to do a yard. Is my time valued at $15-$20 an hour? It's not. I need to be doing high ticket items, finding deals, finding money. So that's not the best use of my time, even though you think you're saving money. Technically you're losing money if you think about it. Yeah. And that's a big one for me. Always thinking about my time and how productive I can be, in a day.
Awesome.
But there's so much more. But yeah.
Very cool. So, what island are you on right now? Are you close to Honolulu?
I live in Honolulu. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working right now in town. Yeah.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool. So I'll talk after this. We have a deal on the Big Island that I want to talk to you about after the show here. So after all of this stuff, I'm thinking, how can this all work out? So very interesting. I need a reason to come see Indar, Hawaii.
There you go.
So there you go. Man, thank you for your time again. Best wishes to you and your family, the team. Absolutely. And just positive vibes overall to get that mindset, that change, that action to take you to that next level in your life. And I know that level is somewhere where it's going to benefit so many people. So keep pushing, man. Keep pushing. Thank you for your time. If you want to get a hold of Indar, and Indar is not, I talked to him before, he's not currently raising money, but this guy is experienced. You can't see him, but I can just look in his face, and there's just this sense of the genuine person there. So if Indar, if the listeners want to reach out to you, maybe learn a little more about Indar Hawaii, what's the best way to connect with them?
Well, of course, my social is Indar Hawaii, INDAR Hawaii, and everywhere. You can find me on every platform, or you can just email me at info@indarhawaii.com. You can also email me there, and just ask questions, guys. Ask questions to Brent or me or anybody on social that you admire. ask questions, because that's where I was at in life. And I love answering questions. I love helping. So if you follow me on Indar, just ask me anything. There's no stupid question, guys.
Yep.
I ask questions to this day, and I don't feel ashamed at all to ask any question to anybody. Because half the time, we're all figuring it out as we grow. So,
and so many people have that same question too. Like, be the one to ask it for sure. Well, man, awesome, Indar. Really appreciate you. Everybody out there, thank you for listening in today. It's been an absolute blast. We should end this one up with some nice island music, I think, to kind of soften the beat here. But if you want to reach out to us, info@physicianwealthsystems.com. Don't forget, drop in, leave a comment or a review on the platform that you're on, whether it's Spotify or Audible or however you listen to the podcast. It really helps us out, and we really appreciate it. So thank you again for listening. Thank you, Indar. Thank you, everybody. Until the next time.